The BeamNG developers are amazing in terms of making sure the game is up to date, but have you ever thought that some cars still need a remaster? Today, we're gonna be exploring exactly those cars, and I'll even show you what the remasters could look like. Starting off with the Gavril Barstow, this car has basically not been changed since 2015. And I think that is such a shame, because the Barstow, being an early 70s muscle car, is an insanely cool car. So, why not give it a refresh at least? Let's look at what could be improved here. So firstly, the interior just doesn't look up to par, even though it has been updated with better textures. Have a look at what I mean here. The exterior model actually isn't that bad, except for some sort of wonky pieces here and there, and the badges as well. But what's worse, definitely, are the lights. I actually love the front flip-up lights, for example, don't get me wrong, but the glow maps, which are basically the textures that emit light, they're just wrong, just look at them. And another thing I noticed while testing the lights actually, which I don't know if it's a bug with the garage map or the Barstow or what, but when I turn the high beams on, the reflectiveness of the chrome on the car changes for some reason. I don't know why. So, here's how I changed up the Barstow to make it look a little bit better. As I said, the exterior isn't that bad, but just to freshen things up, I made the front grille darker, and I added a little styling vent piece here. Moving on to the side, you can notice the white stripe that continues to the back, and also a little vent on the door. And to make it sleeker, I also lowered the roof just a tiny bit. Next up, and I know almost everyone knows about how desperately this car needs a remaster, is the Hirochi Sunburst. This car is a compact sedan from 2009, and I think the devs were going for something like the Subaru Impreza. This car was also released around 2015, and there hasn't ever been a proper refresh since then. This car only has two engines to choose from, and both are inline 4-cylinders. One is a 1.8 and the other one is slightly bigger with 2 liters. Now I think that because this is a car similar to the Impreza from a similar brand, it could have been a flat 4 engine instead of the inline. Or they could add an inline 5 for the top trim levels, and perhaps a diesel engine, which would be great with a wagon variant. And the interior is probably the worst one in the game. Like, the seats alone tell you everything you need to know. And look at those rear door panels, what is that? We need an update of the Sunburst, man, like, badly. Here's what my restyling looks like, and I try to go for a more premium design with these daytime running lights and just a general change of the shape of the front. Sort of similar to the shape of a Lexus, if you can see that. As the next one, we have another old American car, the Burnside Special. This car is very unique in BeamNG because it is the oldest vehicle in the game, and the only one from the 50s. It has 8 configurations only, which definitely doesn't represent how much potential this car has, and they're all basically the same, except for the LED sled variant, which has a lower roof and looks like the car of a villain. There's plenty of mods that add different body styles to the Burnside, which, if the devs added in a remaster, would give the Burnside much more variety. I think there also could be an inline 6, or even an inline 8, as those were actually around at that time. The design is pretty accurate for a 50s car, and apart from the usual light textures and the occasional low poly 3D models, the car looks pretty good, so I didn't change as much in my refresh. So I put the indicators in the same housing as the headlight lamps, the grille shape is a bit different, and the rear pillar has a slight curve to it. And there's also some nicer wheels, but other than that, that's all for the Burnside. The next car which needs a remaster is another one from Hirochi, the SBR4. What makes this car interesting is that it doesn't really look like any other car in real life. Though there are some parts which are clearly inspired, like the Audi R8 rear end or the Nissan GTR dials. The SBR4 has a 2-liter or a 2.5-liter flat 4, which do provide great performance, especially in the twin-turbo version, which does 0 to 60 in around 3 seconds. But because this car is a bit similar to a Porsche, I think a flat 6-cylinder would be cool to have here. Out of all the cars in this video, it is the most up-to-date as it underwent a small refresh in 2019, which also added the first electric car to BeamNG, the Hirochi eSBR. Though still, this car does deserve a restyle at least, just to make it look sharper, and that is exactly what I did here. Now, after this edit, I couldn't call it an SBR4 anymore, because what it stands for is shooting brake, which is the body shape, rear-engined, and 4 comfortable adults. That's actually how the developers said it. But here I put the engine in the front of the car, made it a coupe, and I don't think 4 adults would fit comfortably now. So it defeats the whole purpose of the name, but I think it looks better with the new light design, which I brought over from the Sunburst, the different body type and the modified side vent, which flows better with the overall look of the car. And last for this video is the Ibishu Miramar, which was released in 2016, and it's supposed to be a small early 60s Japanese sedan, similar to the S50 generation Nissan Skyline. The Miramar comes with a 1.6 or a 1.9 liter inline 4-cylinder, but what most likely comes to your mind when you hear Skyline is the GTR with a 6-cylinder engine. And that's what is missing from the Miramar. There should be something like the Skyline 2000 GTR, which had a 2-liter inline 6, though this one is from the late 60s. I think the Miramar should also get a European or American export variant with left-hand drive and also a more detailed interior. And of course a coupe variant to go with the inline 6. So here's my revision of the design. I extended the grille here to stretch over the front of the car and added a second pair of headlights, as that was common with Japanese cars from this era. And there's also a chrome strip along the body to make it a bit more stylish. Oh yeah, and I also can't forget the coupe variant, of course. If you want to see another video like this, then feel free to suggest other cars in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you'll never miss one of my videos. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.